Hello, Lindsay, and welcome to Shadowrun Returns. I'm returning to Shadowrun. I don't think you've ever even experienced it before, right?
I haven't. I've always heard it is the hallmark cyberpunk type game, and I've been really interested in the universe, but I just don't know that much about it.
Well, a little bit of trivia first. It's done by a guy named Jordan Weisman, and his company is named Harebrained Schemes, and you may have recognized him from FASA, F-A-S-A. Have you ever heard of that company before?
No?
They put out a little something called Crimson Skies. They put out Shadowrun.
Oh,
yeah. They put out Battletech and MechWarrior.
Oh, wow.
So he's the guy that ended up doing Virtual Worlds, which is how I got into it, and they've licensed with Piranha Games now to do MechWarrior Online.
Wow, okay.
So that's Jordan's background. So I was really excited now that he's got developed his own Harebrained Studios and is bringing Shadowrun out. So really happy to pick this up, and it's not disappointed so far. So this is the main campaign it ships with, called The Dead Man's Switch, and we'll get into that in a little bit. It's important to note that this is just the campaign that it ships with. It is not the end of the story, because it actually ships with a custom creation tool too.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so like a year down the road, 6 months to a year down the road, we could be looking at a handful of modules made by the user base, by the community.
So does the studio plan on putting out any more modules of its own as well, like maybe downloadable content, or just user created?
I don't know yet, but I would wager that if this does well, they'll probably put some more resources into it. But I really like it. So anyway, so here's character creation. You got your races, your human, elves, dwarves, orcs with a K, and trolls. A little bit of everything here in the classic Shadow races. Also, same races they had in Earthdawn. I was a big Earthdawn fan back in the day too.
Right. Okay.
Role-playing game. So same thing. So if Earthdawn takes place on this otherworldly, fantasy setting, same exact races take place in the cyberpunk future here with Shadowrun. Yeah, so it's really cool. So I'm going through all my options here, but I, just to give you a little bit of a flavor, and there are different stats, there are maximum stats, things like that. But I'm pretty sure you know who I'm going to go with.
I have a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
Now that you're over the dwarf, I think.
Yeah. So I picked a dwarf. So they got the Street Samurai, which is kind of like your cybernetic warrior kind of thing.
Are they kind of more assassin, or are they
bodyguards?
bodyguards?
Kind of like yes,
Okay.
exactly. That's exactly assassin's bodyguards. They're your muscle.
Nice.
All right. When you're talking about somebody that's got like the cybernetic limbs and a samurai sword and a submachine gun, you're talking about your Street Sam. Shaman is in there. Decker, mage. Decker is your internet guy. It's your Johnny Mnemonic. It's your guy who's like going in and hacking security systems and getting in there. Shaman are like the kind of not always Native American, but kind of a Native American inspired, like animal totems and spirits.
Huh, okay.
Like magic's reawakened in the world, so they've got some pretty crazy stuff out there. They're pretty cool.
Well, I'm very curious to see how the magic interacts then with the technology.
It's really neat. Rigger's a kind of like the Deckers, only they're hacking into like machines, vehicles, and little drones, things of that sort. And then the physical adept, which are kind of like your Bruce Lees, like people who channel their chi and are just like physically superior. And that's what I'm going to go with, because I could go all cyberpunky and pack a machine gun and a katana and all that kind of stuff, but I think it might be just fun to run up and just punch people really, really hard.
Punch the magic out of them.
Punch the magic right out of them. Back in the day, when there was the second edition of Shadowrun, back when I was in the Navy, actually, we got together with some group of guys, and we were playing Shadowrun, and I played a dwarf physical adept that just had like bone lacing, like really good, like hardened bones. Like think like Wolverine. Think Wolverine, but instead of claws, I would just run up and punch people in the kneecaps. And that was a lot of fun. Very simple, very brutal, but very fun. So I'm going to try to recreate him here.
So is that a magic enhancement or a technology component, or just his
a little bit of both? Like there's the magical enhancement of just being able to like really focus your chi in almost like a supernatural way to have physical abilities that are above and beyond. And then the bone lacing stuff that I had before in the pen and paper campaign was very much technology. Okay. So the trade-off with the adept is, or any magic is, the more cyber you invest in, the more body parts you replace, you lose essence. And if you lose essence, you're not as effective with your spells or your magical abilities. So there's kind of a trade-off. So you can be a little bit of both, but in the pen and paper game, there was always a trade-off there. So I'm kind of curious to see how they implemented that here as well. So obviously this is the hardest part of it, is coming up with the hair options. I do like that if you they have it locked. So if you choose the locked portion, it'll lock it to the custom and try to make it match the portrait as much as possible.
Okay, I was wondering if the portraits were going to really reflect you or not.
Yeah, but if you unlock it, I can kind of get crazy. So I'm just cycling through all the options here, just trying to find a guy that doesn't look like, he's either sensitive ponytail guy, complete convict, or somebody just showed up to move your fridge.
Right.
Although I do have to applaud them on the inclusion of the mutton chops.
Oh yeah, those look great.
Anyway, this is a really fun game. The campaign is very linear, from what I've understood, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And the fact that this is only the tip of the iceberg as far as Shadowrun's concerned is pretty cool.
Now you sponsored this game on Kickstarter, right? It was a campaign that they did. I
did. And very successfully funded, so I'm happy to kind of see this thing come to fruition. And I was just happy to throw money at it because it's Shadowrun. I mean, it's a core element to my RPG experience. So,
about how long was it then from the point when they did the campaign until it actually launched?
Oh man, it's been over a year.
Okay, well that seems about typical.
Yeah. So here we go with my karma. So this represents your experience that you earn while in the shadows and achieving goals. The cool thing about this karma point system is you earn more points, but your main attributes like body, quickness, strength, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, each time you spend a point. So if my strength is at a 3, if I want to spend it to 4, it costs 4 points. If I want to spend it to 5, it costs 5. And so in each of the little subcategories of abilities that are tied to those attributes, you can only spend up as much as you spend on the attribute.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, I can have, if I want a close combat or my unarmed to be a 5, my strength has to be a 5.
Right, okay.
So that's how it kind of balances out. But I like it that the starting classes in this game seem to be just like starter kits.
Right.
Like if you notice on the character class option on the far right, there's like a question mark, which is pretty much like you can build whatever you want. Like here's a blank slate. So I start off as a physical adept, but if I wanted to learn how to shooting machine guns or casting spells and things like that, there's nothing stopping me from doing it in the system. Like it's completely open for me to do so.
Right.
So this is the chi casting. This is what my physical adept is going to be doing. Like basically harnessing energy and magical energy to make my hands hit as hard as weapons do.
Oh, okay. And is that a component of your strength? Or
it's a component of willpower.
Willpower, okay.
Just like just like the other spell casting is. So the higher my willpower, the more chance I have to hit with magical attacks, but then it's also going to reinforce my physical abilities. But I could see this game having a lot of replay value, even if the story is very linear. Just be kind of cool to come through with different characters and see what you could do.
Yeah, definitely.
Reportedly there's some dialogue options that change. So based on, what kind of skills you have, you may actually have some dialogue options change to suit that too. Or maybe different avenues open up to you during the adventure too. So pretty cool. And that's another thing I'm really looking forward to when people start making their own user-generated content, is how do they factor that in?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Based on and here's another thing, choose your etiquette, like corporate security, gang, socialite, shadowrunner, street, or academic. These are your backgrounds. These are the circles you run in.
Okay.
And those can come into play in the game as well.
Does that really restrict you? Is that going to kind of factor into how you begin the game? Like, are you going to be along a certain quest line?
I messed around with the character builder a couple different times, and I think it just, I don't think it really matters. I think it's more of like a social thing, like you might have some different dialogue options. All right, time to unleash Brimstone. Down and out. Your apartment at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 walls, a roof, and it isn't on fire. Well, hell, that's pretty much it. So the stereotypical, broke and need a job.
Yep. And what background did you go with? Security?
I went with gang.
Gang, okay.
Yeah, just for the hell of it. There was a toss-up between that and security, but I figured, why not? So you'll see the term sinless, capital S-I-N, that's security identification number. So those are like what they call the wage slaves, like your 9-to-5ers.
Gotcha.
They all have numbers, but if you run in the shadows, you might not have that.
Right, you're off the grid.
You're off the grid. Shadowrunner. So here's the interface. I really like this, like the little power button up in the left-hand corner.
Oh, and that's cute.
It opens up, so it kind of gives you this feel like it's a data pad kind of feel that you're looking at. So I'm starting off with a couple weapons. Machete.
Oh, nice.
And a 9mm, I think. The UI in here is pretty minimalist, I think, for the most part, but I like that.
No, it looks right for a cyberpunk type game. But are you eventually going to be going into just hand-to-hand combat and not using those weapons?
That's my goal, yeah.
Huh, okay. It'll be interesting to see how it rewards you for doing that instead of using the weapons.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be neat to try to, I don't know, do something a little different, and plus I just like punching people with the dwarf. There's my computer. Broken since 2051. Just rummaging around my apartment, seeing what I can see at this point. I like the interface. I like the graphics on it too. It's got a definite like throwback feel to like the 90s games that they had. But I really like it. These are all the people I knew. Yeah. They're all dead ends or just plain dead.
So we haven't really come across any breadcrumbs here yet. Oh, there we go.
Your video phone rings jarring you. Who's calling at 3 a.m.? It's a plot hook. Apparently I gotta piss though. Won't let me in the bathroom. I was gonna say, the camera controls, I can't rotate the map.
Oh, that's
so
irritating.
it's a fixed view. I mean, it's okay. I understand why they did it, but it's a little off-putting. All right, so here's Sam Watts.
He's drunk again.
Hey, buddy. Hope I didn't catch you at a bad time. No, it's 3 in the morning. I got nothing to do.
Just contemplating the sadness of my apartment.
So I'm asking him where he's been. Oh, well, that's sad. Apparently Sam's dead.
Oh.
So he's contacting me beyond the grave.
When you're an unsavory character like myself.
Bet you hit the big payday. Well, I did not live
Yeah,
higher.
sorry, Sam.
No, I hate to dispel your illusions there, buddy. Oh, here it comes. Anytime somebody reminds you of what they've done for you, you know they're going to ask you for something.
But he's dead, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, this looks like a flashback. 3 years ago, a makeshift bar in the Seattle docks. The night Dowd went down.
Dowd?
Yeah, apparently. So here's one thing I've noticed, is if you, if I hold my mouse like down, it'll just keep panning like off into blackness. Here we go. Let's meet the team. New Larry. Hello, Larry. Sangoma. Shaman, okay.
Is that an orc?
Yeah. Rotten you up in here, Brimstone. Yeah, I'm not leaving. We're waiting for the money.
Will you actually be able to control these people, or are you just interacting with them?
Well, right now I'm just interacting with them, so who knows? I think the idea, though, is you build a team.
Okay, so it's
later.
Similar to like a Neverwinter type game.
Only, in true Shadowrunner fashion, I think you have to hire them, so you never know who you can trust or who not. Like, they're never yours.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. This dude's bitching. Wah, wah, wah. Wait for the money. Always wait for the money. That's a good answer.
He's been hitting the bottle pretty good lately.
Yeah, he needs watching. Oh, so he's like the best friend that needs babysit.
Gotcha.
I've had a few of those. So apparently our run went bad. Oh. So apparently Dowd's already dead. And now these guys are going to blame each other.
But we have no idea what really happened?
No, we don't, up to this point, but I think they're gonna... Sloppy, you think I was sloppy? You've been twitching all day, son. Look at your hands, they're shaking. Sam didn't miss a beat on his game.
So we're gonna...
New Larry obviously wasn't as good as old Larry. So it looks like they're accusing each other who's responsible for this guy Dowd's death.
All right. Well, obviously we're going to take our buddy's side.
We were set up, and he knows it. Don't you, Larry? How come you couldn't get that guy before he unloaded on Dowd? I've seen you fling a lightning bolt.
You chummers are damaged. Wow.
So that new Larry, not making a great case for himself, looks pretty suspicious. How much did they pay you to sell us out, Larry? Son of a bitch.
And here it goes down.
Gonna take the hard drive off your corpse, buddy. Yeah, you're gonna do that, man. Alright, Sam, I'll buy you a drink. Leave the mage, kill the others. Alright, assholes. You are now in turn-based combat mode. Each character on your team has an action pool. Spend these action points on movements, attacks, or using spells and items. Okay. I can do that. So you got lot of little movement squares.
Oh, okay.
So it tells you how much you move. And pop, pop, pop. Took a little bit of damage. Alright, here we go.
Alright, so Brimstone's up?
Yeah. Well, I think, it looks like I can pick anybody in the order, actually.
Oh, okay.
Actually, you can kind of mix and match the actions. So there's my killing hands. So it makes for 4 rounds, gives my damage plus 10 to my fists.
Okay.
So I'm going to cast that on myself. Let's see, I'm just going to move over here for now until I figure this out. And now, okay. So I'm going to shoot him with my gun.
And you miss.
And I missed, because I'm not good at that.
Are you controlling?
Luckily, Big Mama here, fat bottom girl, she knows what she's doing with the gun.
Did you command her, or?
Yeah, I'm in control of the players right now.
Okay.
Like, for right now, but I don't think it's like permanently.
Sure.
I'm trying to use the cover system. It looks a lot like XCOM.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
cover
was
system
just thinking that.
Like partial cover, total cover, and then just wide out in the open. And I like that it gives you your percentage to hit right over people too. Bam! There, I hit her for a whopping 3 damage.
Splat.
Oh, that hurt. Again, I really love the art style though.
Yeah. And I agree, it definitely looks kind of like XCOM, and the combat's reminding me a little bit of Dawn of War 2. Is that the game I'm thinking of?
No, Dawn of War 2 is like the, well, I mean, I guess, but that's more like a strategy game kind of
Okay,
thing. Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so I healed myself. Oh no, I put a little haste spell on myself so I can go
Oh,
faster.
fun.
We got more incoming from over here. Alright, I gotta figure out how to play this damn game. So I'm hasted, so now I got 3 actions instead of 2. My machete does 8, my hands do 4, but that spell should make me do more, but I'm gonna chop him with a machete. Short, angry guy with a machete.
And you're getting to do 3 in a row there.
Well, no, because your actions are, you basically move, attack, or cast a spell.
Oh, okay.
So, kind of like D&D.
Yep.
Where you get so many actions. Well, I got hasted, so I had an extra action, so it took me 1 move to get there, and then 2 attacks. But like these guys, if they stay in place. So I'm going to switch over, get them behind cover on this side, and then shoot, so I have cover from these guys. Because this guy I'll take out with Brim. Give him the chop. There, okay, yeah. Click on myself, killing hands. Now look, my fists do 13 points of damage, and I'm just gonna punch him.
Wow.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh.
More incoming from this side. More people to punch. That's bad. They have a shaman. Okay. You also have to spin around to reload. You see my gun's red down there, and there's like you have to spin around to reload your ammo.
I don't know who these enemies are, but they look like some weird combination of like Assassin's Creed and Suits.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's the future. It's all corporations run there.
All right.
Government is taking a back seat. It's all greedy corporations, that run everything. Yeah, lots of trench coats are involved here.
Okay.
This was the Matrix before the Matrix.
Okay.
Oh, so he summoned a little fire spirit guy, apparently.
Ooh, he looks cool.
Yeah, so that's what shaman can do. They can summon spirits. I think they have a chance to turn on you, though.
Oh.
All right, somebody needs punching. Guess what? I don't need to reload my fists. Still trying to get used to the cover system about how cautious I need to be.
Right. So it seems already like...
So, like, this whole square is 1. I can move it 1 turn.
Uh-huh.
But if I move it out any farther than that, it'll, 2, 3, or whatever.
Okay.
So, that's just showing up to what I can do. See, what I should have done, probably there, is just close with that guy and punched him, and I wouldn't have wasted a turn. And I'd be in the same spot I was now. I'd only have 2 attacks instead of 1.
It does seem like a big downside to being in melee combat is that you've got to get right up on them.
Yeah, I guess so. But, I mean, it depends on what the rest of your team's doing, too.
True.
And a lot of enemies might, look like they might come right at you, too.
That's true.
Because there's going to be melee enemies, I guarantee it. Take him out. Alright, Big Mama. Still trying to play cautious with this whole cover game. So she's got 2 moves, so I don't want to really waste them both on moving. If I can help it. See that? Like, the way out there is 2. The inner box is 1.
Right.
I want to be able to move and shoot, but I want to leave her exposed. No, I'm just going to take the shot. Take him down.
What class is Sam again?
I don't know what class Sam is. I don't know. I didn't really look. He's probably just a normal Street Sam or something, Street Samurai or whatever. Alright. This guy, he needs a good punching. And that's it.
Damn.
1, 2. Sam's not looking too good.
It's a hell of a thing.
You did good, brother. You were born to this game, Brimstone. Me, not so much. Okay. What about you? Huh. It's the only life I know. Well, you're a dumbass. Well, screw you too, Sam. Guess you could drink to me. And end scene. So there ends the flashback portion of the game.
Okay. Oh, right.
Because that's our whole history together and how he had my back and now I owe him.
Looks like you kind of saved his ass there.
Well, I did, kind of, didn't it? Who would care if I die? Who would give a rat's ass? Better or worse, your name is at the top of the list. Maybe it's the only name on the list. Well, that's sad.
He's not going to really be dead, is he?
I don't know. It could go either way. Shadowrun will kind of screw you over one way or the other. 100,000 new yen insurance policy. Contact my law firm, Rogers, Mengard, and McCain. I don't trust anybody named McCain. Huh. Okay. So no comm links. I have to call from a landline once I find his killer, and the job is done, and I get 100,000.
Okay. It seems awfully elaborate thing to set up when you know you were about to be killed.
Seems like a pretty badass thing to set up.
I don't know. Your time might be better spent going into hiding.
Well, maybe he didn't know he was going to get killed originally. Like this conversation didn't trigger until he was dead already.
Well, no, I know.
Got a locator chip slotted in my head. If my heart stops, it'll activate. That's how you find me. See you in the slab. I mean, I guess it's kind of a decent insurance policy if you just want to be somebody who's like, you kill me,
sure,
you're gonna die.
Doesn't do a lot of good.
Well, we'll find out next time in the Dead Man Switch.
Okay then.
Thanks for watching this with me. I appreciate it.
It looks great.